A few months and 16 videos later, we have finally arrived at that oh-so-sweet moment. The time when we can stop watching these ridiculous convention videos. Yes, that is right. We are at the end of the road. This will be the final convention video for this year. So I'm pretty excited about it. Quickly, before we get into it, don't forget to drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. It helps it get out to more people on YouTube. With all of that being said, let's find out what we learned at this year's convention.
How quickly the convention has gone by. You may feel like you just arrived, and now the convention is nearly over. What lessons will you take away?
Nunchuck skills, bow hunting skills, computer hacking skills.
Let's begin by reviewing how the convention deepened our understanding of the gospel accounts.
Well, boy, howdy, Jeff. We sure learned a lot from this year's convention about the Gospels. We learned that a random Scottish guy's favorite word is P.
P77 and P70. P77. P70. P64. P64, P66 and P75. P52's
P Sherman 42 Wallaby Way, Sydney.
P45, P75, P75, Preach, Pontius Pilate, Potential Pages, Philip, Portrayal.
Pointers in the paddock in my piece. I'm push a P.
We talked about, well, ass?
The donkey is sometimes viewed as a lowly animal. The long ears that donkeys are famous for help to expel its internal heat quickly. There's far more to this lowly beast of burden than meets the eye.
And we learned about holes. Some holes big enough you could walk through, others still fun to stick your fingers in.
Different types have been found around Israel. This one is a series of man-made hollows carved into the limestone. And judging by the amount of holes, the dung was harvested as fertilizer. But there was also another use. Jehovah values our holes, even if it's limited by age, health, or other circumstances. As the scripture says, man sees what appears to the eyes, but Jehovah sees into the holes.
All jokes aside, Jeff here just breaks down everything that they talked about at the convention by using a series of clips and stuff. I just decided to use some of my own. But anyway, I just wanted to highlight one thing that he does say at the very end of his little discussion.
We are working along with the angels under the oversight of Jesus Christ. The everlasting good news we declare is a message of hope that means life for those who respond favorably. What will happen when the good news has been preached to Jehovah's satisfaction? As today's convention theme reminds us, and then the end will come.
What does preached to his satisfaction mean? It is such a vague concept that he's putting out there. When the entire world knows about Jehovah's Witnesses, I don't know if they're ever going to be more popular. When I close my eyes and I look into the future, I see a situation where a lot of younger people under the age of, I don't know, like 25, might not even have ever heard of a Jehovah's Witness before. Previously, through the 90s and 2000s, you would hear of cultural references in entertainment, making jokes about Jehovah's Witnesses because they were better known. Do you still hear those same jokes and references being made in 2024? Are Jehovah's Witnesses less well known now than they were back then? I mean, that's a hard statement to sort of quantify. Now, sure, the number of Jehovah's Witnesses does increase, but you have to look at it from the context of how much time and effort and money is being spent in order to try and reach people, and what is the efficacy of that. are they just spinning their wheels? Are they really growing in such a way where we all have to sit tight and wait for Jehovah to be satisfied with this good news being preached throughout the entire earth before the end comes? Because by that logic, at least in my little noodle, it would seem that that time has already come and passed. The time when Jehovah's Witnesses are most well known throughout the entire world, their best days are actually behind them. So what are you talking about, Jeff? Now, the final speaker of this convention said something a little bit interesting with respect to this Jesus drama that they were so excited to release.
At this convention, we had the privilege, the very first ones, to view episode 1 of the Good News According to Jesus. Weren't we thrilled to see the start of this series? And we can be sure the next 17 episodes are not going downhill from there.
Now, the organization has been building this up for quite some time. Look at some of the promotional pieces that they've been releasing over the last couple of years.
That's concerning the exciting project that is going on in Australia. And as you know, it's the series of dramas entitled The Good News According to Jesus.
Roll camera, roll audio.
And action.
As you know, the governing body had those full costume dramas for years at conventions, but never was Jesus depicted.
And then finally, the third option, which is of course the hardest and involves a lot of work, is to do a real life drama. So we were interested to see how the governing body would feel about this.
We went ahead, governing body approved it, go ahead, let's have that, and it worked very well.
We want them to be able to see the power and impact of what Jesus taught. Yes, we want the third option.
But this project's unique in that we're not doing that. These buildings, these structures that we're going to be filming are going to last for years. And so they have to be built that way. So how do we combine modern day building standards to make it last, but still make it look like an old ancient building that was built 2,000 years ago?
It was so big in scope, but now it's actually happening. And you see Jehovah's blessing on the planning, on the construction, on the people.
There's many formats out there in the world of Jesus' life and how it's depicted, but our film is so accurate. The research and effort that's gone into it has made it so close to the Bible. It's going to make such a difference. They're going to see Jesus, what he was truly like. It's going to affect hearts, and it's really going to help them to see Jehovah as well.
The accounts that we're trying to depict involve a lot of animals. We know it was part of the culture at the time, so we're really trying to incorporate that into this production.
We've had donkeys, sheep, pigeons, and even camels here at the branch on set.
So one particular episode required the Judean wilderness. After reviewing a few options here within the country of Australia, we saw that it wasn't as feasible as we would have liked for it to be. After presenting the information to our brothers in oversight, we got a response that we didn't anticipate. They came back asking, what about Israel? A small crew traveled to Israel and actually filmed in the real Judean wilderness. The local branch office provided support. A number of scenes were filmed, and now when we're reviewing the material, we see Jehovah blessing that arrangement.
And we can be sure the next 17 episodes are not going downhill from there.
So we get information that there's going to be 17 more of these episodes. So with that, I remember a clip from Stephen Lett where he said this.
And all of this work and investment is not just for one convention drama. In fact, this production sets us up for convention dramas for years to come in the future. For years to come in the future.
And we can be sure the next 17 episodes are not going downhill from there.
So my question is, what are Jehovah's Witnesses actually getting with this new Jesus series of videos? They are getting convention releases. Why all the hype beforehand? They never talk about their convention releases in this way, where years before they are hyping them up and talking about them and getting Jehovah's Witnesses excited about them. They're doing it in a way that Jehovah's Witnesses are going to think and feel that they are getting something extra, something bonus from Watchtower. But they are not getting something extra. They are going to be stuck in this loop of watching Jesus dramas
Forever! 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 Forever!
Now, for anyone that doesn't know, the drama was the most exciting thing about going to a convention, especially for kids. Teenagers and kids, it was like the only thing that you would really pay attention to. And as that evolved out of the costume era and became, hey, it's time to watch a movie era, that was when the maximum amount of people were in their seats actually paying attention to the information being provided. Now, the most interesting thing about a convention, you have just stripped away and made it the same thing for the future going forward. Really get your head around this. They said that they're going to be releasing 17 of these episodes, and Stephen Letts says that they're going to be doing these for many years. They're going to be convention dramas for many years in the future. And now, during this talk, I won't play it, but he does say that they're going to be releasing episodes 2 and 3 at next year's convention. So sometimes maybe you get a double release, maybe sometimes you get one. But at least, let's just say, for the next 10 years, you are going to be getting the exact same looking, feeling drama over and over again. How boring is that? Whereas before, you would get a lot of variety. You would have a lot of different situations of modern day Jehovah's Witnesses playing out. Last year, we're in the forests of Africa and there's guerrilla warfare and people are escaping to a refugee camp. Before, it's like the story of Lot's wife, but told in a modern era where she starts pulling away from Jehovah's Witnesses and everything goes terrible. We had the story of Job and how everything went bad in his life, and yet he stuck close to Job. At least on some level, those were interesting. They had to deal with modern day problems that Jehovah's Witnesses, or at least problems that they deal with. And it was something for a Jehovah's Witness to think about. It was something entertaining, especially if you are stuck in that paradigm. And now all of the most interesting thing about conventions has just been replaced by Australians walking around in a fake city pensively. Just following Jesus around on his day-to-day business, doing Jesus stuff. You are healed. There's more bread and fishes for you. Whining pieces of garbage. Be nice to people if you can. Jesus, Satan, I'm not going to be tempted by you. And that's it. It's going to look the same. It's going to feel the same. It's going to have probably have the same actors and stuff in it. You are going to be getting the same thing for the next 10 years.
You know, virtually every word in this series is in the Bible, and we've read it hundreds of times, but did you pick up nuances that you've missed before in the Bible record as you heard people speak from their heart these words? Absolutely amazing.
He even is proud that virtually every single word is just taken from the Bible. There's not like extra filler stuff. So again, with those other dramas that you'd have, it was mostly a script that was written. You got new content. They could write in stuff that was interesting. So it wasn't just this banal, hackneyed slog trying to get through another episode of the Jesus thing. But they are proud of it. Oh, I mean, it's everything you'd find in the Bible. So you're just stretching it out for 17 hours? What would take a couple of hours to read? Make it make any sense. Hey, guess what? This thing that you've read so often and could do in an hour, we are going to make you watch people stretch that amount of content out for 17 hours. I made the joke when this first came out and I was reviewing it that it felt like 90% of it was just people staring off into the distance. And that's exactly what it's actually going to be. Just people looking around. I think that this is absolutely the funniest way that we can conclude this year's convention, because it blows my mind that they have just set up for all the next decade. Going forward, it's just going to be miserable. There's a couple other things in the convention that concluded with the little music video, but it's really neither here nor there. So we've wrapped up our convention review. Yeehaw, we did it. So thank you guys so much for joining me on this journey. With all of that being said, stay safe, be kind, and don't forget to show yourself the same kindness that you show to others. And I hope you have a good ass day.